Ladies and gentlemen, today we have another insanely great inspirational runner who was the 2021 world champion in the marathon in her age group. She not only runs at a blistering pace in which many people, half her age, can't keep up with her, but she has also helped inspire her daughters to take up running as well, and has inspired her community by founding and managing her own charity 5K race. Let me tell you, people, this woman knows how to rock the run. Please welcome Leslie Cohen. Thanks for joining us.
So much. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, Leslie, how'd you get into running?
Well, initially I got into running to sort of get over the stress of my divorce. Started running a little bit. And then I had the great idea to start running with my kids. I thought that seems like a healthy thing.
Yeah.
And when they were starting high school, they wanted to go to Santa Monica High. And I thought I'd heard that it's good for the kids at that school to do either a club or a sport. So I thought, well, maybe running sounds good. So when they were in the 8th grade before starting high school, I started my little running team called Team LCL. And I would have them and all their friends come over on Wednesdays at like 5 o'clock. I'd run 3 miles with them, get them little logo shirts, and then bring them back to the house for chocolate chip cookies, hot out of the oven. So we had a group of about 18 kids, and every single one of them was accepted to the cross-country team that fall. So
Oh, wow.
it was really sort of accidental. I didn't really set out to train them for the team, but it just worked out that way. And that was how I pretty much got into it. And then our team started to compete in races, some kids, but also a lot of adults. And I just sort of developed a community and got super into it.
So before you helped start working with your kids in this, you weren't doing any running. Were you involved
Just
in any?
occasional, just occasional. I had an exercise bike, like no big deal.
Yeah. And this was around what, 2010?
09.
09.
We started
Okay.
the team in 09.
Wow. And you weren't doing any other sports, and you just like kind of picked it up because of your kids.
Yeah, I did do a marathon in 2006. That was my first one,
Oh,
but
wow.
I was very unprepared. I got injured and I didn't run for months after that. And then I started doing a little bit of stuff. And then it was 09, we started the team and we got really into it.
Oh, wow. And are your kids still running? Are they still?
My younger two do still run. Rachel lives in Northern California. She's more of a trail girl. And Phoebe is here in LA now with me. And so we run together all the time and race
Yeah.
all.
That's good. That's good. Your favorite race, my understanding is that your favorite race is the half, or the.
I enjoy the half the most. I mean, the
Yeah.
full gets an attention that the half never will.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying I could run a half marathon. I could break a world record, and that would be super cool. People would rather see me run the Boston Marathon in 6 hours. It's more exciting. People
Yeah,
love
yeah.
the marathon. I prefer the half as a running distance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think the first time I met you, I think I met you at the, I think it was the Long Beach
Long
Beach Classic half.
Long Beach Classic last year, right?
Yeah, last year. I think it was last year, and you'd run a blistering 1:39, 1 hour 39
Yeah.
minutes, something like that. I was like, wow.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So you've been doing this pretty consistently, I believe, since about 2009. How has running changed you over the years?
I would start by saying the people are everything. To have the community, it's completely changed my life in that I've met people I never have access to.
Yeah,
So that's the main thing, is the friends that I've made, the weekends that we go on, these trips that we take around the world with friends running. So I'd say number one would be community. Number two, it's been really fun. I mean, growing up with zero sports in my house, took ballet, right? Because that's the kids took ballet in Long Island. That's about it, right? And piano and choir,
Yeah.
all of kind of, the nice Jewish girl things. And to go into something that was completely foreign from my life, and not only get into it, but actually get pretty good at it, and get, win races and stuff. It's like, it's my life in that it makes me think of myself in a way that I had never considered for, 50 something years, right?
Right. Did you have any brothers or sisters growing up that were playing sports or anything, or?
We didn't have sports in our family. My
Oh.
dad played a little tennis. That was about it.
That was about it.
I also have two sisters, and
Yeah.
neither one of them. We were not a sports. It was not on our radar at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. And I understand you're a lawyer, and I've run a few. Over the years, I've run with a few lawyers. We're just running, working out, running. And I'm wondering, what, if anything, is there about the law profession you think that might attract you to running? Might attract a lawyer to running? Is there anything in particular? Because I've run with a few lawyers, and I'm just wondering if there's something about the career that kind of lends to that.
It's a great question. I think one of the things is that my work is very stressful. And when I'm running, I don't think about law. I think about how, especially when I'm racing, it's one of the best things about racing. It's like, what time is it? What's my pace? If I slow down, what will my finish time? It just gives a completely different focus.
Right.
So that's one thing. Another thing is that it's really changed my relationship with other lawyers who run, because my work is very courtroom oriented and lots of advocacy. And so someone, instead of just being an opposing counsel, becomes a friend. One of my friends. It's amazing. Yeah. One of my lawyer friends who we've had cases on the same side, we've had cases on opposite sides, and we're both pretty serious advocates. And he came up and caught my hand at the end of the Boston Marathon. Up we go into the finish line. So it's been good for professional relationships, unexpectedly, also with clients. But the main thing really is probably that it again has opened up a world to a whole different community of people that I wouldn't have access to. And surprisingly too, it's good for business. Not that I do it for that reason, but everyone's excited about the marathon. It just again helps you relate to people on a human level. So that's another thing about it. And then I suppose kind of the nerd in me, like the bankruptcy attorney nerd, and everything we do is very numbers oriented. So there's lots of numbers, checking my splits, checking my stats, and doing research. So that kind of thing.
Let's talk about some of your races now. How many marathons and half marathons have you run?
I've done 50 marathons now.
Oh my God.
Might be 51, but I think it's 50. I didn't count up today, but I think it's 50. And half marathons, I think I've done like 111 or 112.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah.
All these since like around 2010.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. So for marathons, the one in 2006, and then my next one was in 2013. So I've done since 2013, I guess, 49 marathons. And the half, I did a few probably before 2010. I think my first one was in 2010, so that's been just through the years, yeah.
So they must be just kind of like popcorn for you. I mean, I whenever I've only run like 5 half marathons. Whenever I run, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is challenging. For you, it's probably like popcorn now. You just like, whatever. Well,
I do love popcorn.
Yeah.
And, it depends on the race. Every once in a while, I'll say I'm just going to do it as a fun run. I've done 2 times. I've done the marathon as a training run. I've done it a few times with the half, and that's fun. But I still work pretty hard, especially those last couple miles, and you're starting to feel a little overwhelmed. But the thing about the half is, no matter how hard you work, when you're done, you walk away, right? Yeah. You have sore legs, you're fine. So, yeah. It's the best distance, I think. It's my favorite.
Okay, so the half, you're saying, you run it and you walk away, you got sore legs, but you're fine. But after the marathon, what's it like?
It really varies. Yeah. I did the Tokyo Marathon twice, and both times the next day I felt like normal, even though I competed in both. And this year I had a really good run, and I don't really know what it was about the course, but I was completely fine. But I just did the Jack and Jill over the weekend, and I was pretty surprised my legs got sore, because it was more hilly. I'm not quite sure. LA Marathon, I got a little sore this year. So it depends. Yeah. When I do it as a training run, I wake up the next day, it's like any other day. But if I compete in it, if I work a bit harder, I may or may not get sore. You never know.
Yeah. What's been your most challenging marathon? Or challenging marathon, challenging half marathon? What?
My most challenging marathon was the Boston Marathon 2018. I don't know if you were there, but it was 39 degrees temperature.
Oh my gosh.
39 miles per hour winds in your face, because Boston only goes the one way from Hopkins to Boston, and it was pouring rain. So it was
Oh,
basically like running into a fire hose for,
wow.
for 26.2 miles. It was the most cold and uncomfortable I have ever been in my life. That was definitely my most challenging race.
Wow. Oh,
So,
I can only imagine. Yeah.
yeah.
I run Pasadena half marathon, and then sometimes it's a little rainy, whatever, but nothing
Yeah,
like
I've done that in the rain too. That's nothing.
that's nothing. Yeah.
I mean, I've done. I prefer to run in dry weather, but this Boston thing was intense. It was
Wow.
very comfortable.
Wow. Wow. Tell me about your training. What do you do to train? Maybe I talked to you a little in the past about it. What do you do to train for a marathon?
I just do pretty much the same thing all year round. Do a lot of marathons. So Monday, probably get Amalfi Loop, which is sort of a bit of a hill run. Tuesday, beach run flat with my friend Susie. Wednesday, track. We have a group that meets at the track. Thursday, rest. Friday, I run with the Run Tech Club. That's in the easy run, 7 miles.
Okay.
And then Saturday and Sunday, maybe one day's a race or a long run, and the other day is going to be 8 to 10 miles. So it's a pretty consistent schedule
Right. So year round, you pretty much do that. You pretty much.
all year round. The only thing that will vary is how long is the long run.
Yeah.
How long will the long run be? Yeah.
So.
But I do it all year round. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's like the maximum mileage you do preparing for a marathon, for example?
So my new thing, I've done it as I think I mentioned twice this year, is that I actually did a training run, 26.2 miles on an actual marathon as my long training run.
Oh, wow.
And I loved it. I can't wait to do it again. That was because when you want to run, I normally run 22 as my long one before I did this year. And running 22, 23 at home is fine. We can do it. You just kind of go up and back and around, and we know the routes. But if you do it on a marathon course, you'll have all the fluids, and it's simulating obviously a marathon a bit more, and you don't have to stop, and you don't stop like we run just on the weekend. You stop, take pictures, go to the bathroom, whatever.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it kind of gets you focused, and so that's my new thing that I just started doing, and I loved it. I'll do it again for sure.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you do track night with a club of some kind, right?
We have a group. I think I mentioned that. So I have my little run club, Team LCL.
Okay.
We're operated through Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Our
What do you
Facebook-
do? Like in a given track night, what do you do, for example?
We do it in the morning on Wednesdays, and it's pretty much, if anybody wants a workout, I'll give them one. But the way we started doing it is that we have a lot of people of different paces, and we want to be together. So we all warm up together, and everyone kind of does their thing. So
Yeah.
for me, I like to do mile repeats, or I like to do 5K continuous.
Yeah.
I can do 400s and stuff, but I feel like for me that the mile repeats or
Yeah.
the mile continuous is better workout for me because it's harder.
Yeah. And a 400 for like a marathon's probably kind of short repeat.
It'll I guess it teaches you to run fast,
Yeah.
but I don't need to run 5K pace in my marathon.
Yeah.
And I feel like the mile repeats are probably the best for me.
Yeah. I see people doing threshold training. Is that something you ever look at? Where you kind of run for like, 10 minutes at whatever your
A
marathon.
lot of my friends do that, but I don't. It's too complicated for me.
Complicated, yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it simple. That's good. What about like you do any strength training or yoga or anything? There's a lot of talk about the importance of strength training now, and
I tried strength training during COVID. It did not work for me at all. It irritated my back. It didn't make me feel good. And so I don't do any of that. I just do stretching. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe five minutes a day stretching on the days when I remember. That's it. I have an acupuncturist who really guides me in that kind of stuff. She was the one who said, look, you're not getting good results from it. Don't do it. Do the stretches instead. And that's what I do. And I ride, usually when I come back from my run, I'll go on the Peloton, maybe 15, 20 minutes, but just to kind of flush out the legs, not really as a workout.
Any special diet or anything that you on for when you're preparing for a marathon or anything like that?
Well, I'm widely known in the running community for being a lover of donuts.
Okay.
So,
Not my club. We just had a donut run past
yeah,
Sundays.
well, I wish I would have come.
Yeah.
So we actually do a lot of group runs, like especially on holidays and my birthday, and maybe pre-Boston, we do group runs for people's birthdays, and we'll have donuts. So I really like donuts. I try to eat, a lot of fresh vegetables, but it's just all about whatever my sweet treats. So I don't really follow a special diet. I just try to be healthy, and I'm not vegetarian or anything like that. I eat night before a race, I usually eat a burger. So yeah, no special really.
Yeah. How about the day of the race? I mean, I hear, especially a marathon. I've never run a marathon. I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, you should. No, you shouldn't eat, or you should." What do you do? Do you eat something before your marathon?
Yeah, I eat before every run, and I really have learned the importance of that. Even if I'm just going out for 4 or 5 miles, I always eat just half a cup of oatmeal. So I eat oatmeal before every single run. I travel, bring it with me in a little packet without fail. And then for the marathon, I'll eat probably 4 to 5 gels, depending on the course. If it's 5, it's mile 5, 10, 15, 19, and 23. That's for 5. Or if I'm having 4, I'll just do like 5, 10, 15, and 20.
And then I'm guessing you're drinking a lot of water during the race, I suppose.
I don't need as much water as other people.
Yeah.
So I don't carry my own water. I'm too tired.
Yeah.
I use my hand, it's too heavy. But I take at every station, I just take a sip, toss it, throw it at my face.
Yeah.
Myself, drop the cup.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. What would you say to like someone that's someone wants to start? They want to run a marathon. I see this a lot now. Oh yeah, I want to run a marathon. When is it? Oh, it's 3 months from now or 6 months. Have you run before? Well, not really. What would you say to someone they want to run their first marathon? How should they train for that? What should they do? I
would definitely say follow a training program. Like you can get anything online just to make sure, and not just to do the long weekend runs. Because I paced LA Roadrunners one year for LA Marathon, and we found that a lot of our runners would come to the weekend runs, but they wouldn't train during the week. So I think you need to at least train a couple times during the week. And then for the long runs, make sure you get all your long runs in. Practice eating your gel, right? You don't have to have, on a long run, you don't have to have 4 gels, but at least 2, 1 or 2 on the long run, so that you're used to kind of running and eating and kind of digesting it. And then I would say manage your expectations, set a reasonable goal, and start out easy, because everyone can run whatever their pace is for a while until they. In my first marathon, I was about an 8:30, 8:40 runner at the time, and I'm running 8:30s, and I'm feeling great. And then all of a sudden, my legs died. I hadn't trained. My longest training might have been 13 miles. So if I'd started out at maybe 9-minute pace, I might have had a better day. But
so for your first, your first marathon, your longest run was 13 miles, and then you just kind of wasn't quite enough. You just kind of petered out there towards the end.
I fell apart. I was surprised. I made it almost 23 miles, which was pretty shocking. And then my legs died. I injured my IT band. I couldn't run for months after that. I've just walked 10 steps, jogged 10 steps for 3 miles to get to the finish. It was just stupid.
Yeah. So someone that's just starting out, that's got this goal of running a marathon, is there a mileage that how many miles should they start off, and how much should they build over time?
I would say start with a long run of 8 miles and then do 10, 12, 14, and then back down to 8 or 10, and then 16, 18, 20, 22, back down like that. You're supposed to kind of increase by a couple miles per week and then take a week back and then do it again.
Yeah. And then how many miles, what do you think is the maximum miles they should maybe get up to before they
22.
start? 22?
Yeah.
Maybe for a whole week?
Oh, you mean for the weekly mileage?
Yeah.
Oh, I think anyone can do a marathon running 40 miles a week. I think you can do it on 30.
Yeah.
You can really do it on 40. I like more than that, but 40's enough.
Yeah.
For
It
weekly
depends
miles.
how fast you want to go, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And what do you get used to? I mean, I was a 40-mile-a-week person for years, and
yeah,
it took a long time to kind of amp it up.
yeah. Wow. How
And
many?
people have lives and schedules, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. That's probably the hardest thing. It seems like to juggle between especially when you're a lawyer, you have to all the stuff to do as a lawyer and your family, and then running a marathon. You got to find time for that. It must be,
right.
a challenging thing. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand you were recently named as an age group world champion in the marathon. Is that right?
I was for 2021 the age group champion for it's called the Wanda Age Group Championship. It's put on by Abbott, who has they're the ones that are in charge of the majors, which is Boston, New York, London, Tokyo, Berlin, and Chicago. Those are the 6 world marathon majors.
Uh-huh.
So Abbott, which is like a drug company, they sponsor those races.
Uh-huh.
So in 2021, they set up a new thing that's called the age group competition. And the idea of it is that it's for athletes that are 40 and up, so that you can kind of compete in our own age groups, which is kind of nice.
Yeah,
and I won the age group championship for 2021. And then I got a 3rd place for 2022.
So to win, that means you run all the majors, and they just look at the average times of everyone in those age groups, or how do they determine?
So what they do is they have the championship event, which last year was in Chicago, and for 2022 and 2021 was in London. And you get an invitation, and it gets you into the race, which, as you probably know, London's very hard to get in. You get in, and then we have our own special start area, and we are competing with others in our age division. So each runner that's in that competition, it's almost like a competition inside the marathon itself. And so each runner in that competition has like a little sign on their back with their last name and their age division. So in my case, 65 to 69. So people know I've got the target on my back, right? And then however people place in that determines if you're the world champion for that year or not. And the thing is, it gets a lot of competition because you have all the best people competing for it. You have to qualify for it. And you used to have to qualify by being among the best in your age in the world, but they changed it this year, and now it's based on a qualifying time. So I think for me, the time is maybe 4:05, something like that, that if I had, but anyways, qualifying time for each age division. So you qualify, you get in. This year we'll be in Sydney for the championship event. And we're expecting some good competition. Should be fun.
Wow. So last time when you were in it, it was in London. This year they're going to do it in Sydney.
Right, exactly.
So you'd have to go to Sydney to be in that.
Correct, and I am. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Wow. Leslie! Run, Leslie! Run, 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 run!
There's a website called Running Level where you can see how your race times compare to others within your sex and age group. It's www.runninglevel.com. It's pretty cool. You run a 3:28 marathon, is that correct?
I had 3:28 in Berlin in 2022, and I had 3:27 in Chicago in 2023.
Oh, wow. Wow. And at that speed, that means you can run a marathon faster than at least 80% of those that are younger than 45.
Wow, that's
and yeah, and 95% of all the women, well, 80% of the women, 80% of the women that are younger than 45, and 95% of all the women age 45 and older. Okay?
Wow.
And then it also means that you can run a marathon faster than 80% of all the men that are 50 and over. So you're way up there. In addition, in addition, it says you're I'm guessing 139 half marathon. Is that you?
That's what I did in Long Beach Classic this year and last year.
Okay, yeah, I was there. Okay, so 139 and a half marathon. You're faster than 95% of all the women age 45 and older, and 80% of those that are younger than 45. So you're faster than a lot. So clearly, you somehow found the fountain of youth here. And I'm wondering, what are 3 things, if you could think of, what are 3 things someone can do to keep those speeds up as they get older? You know, there's more and more. It seems like there's more and more older, young at heart runners, and that some of them keep going, and others like, sorry, this is just too hard on my body, I quit. What do you think are 3 things someone can do to keep that speed and endurance up as they get older?
One thing I will say, I'll give a huge shout out to my acupuncturist and spirit guide, Brooke Niss, from the Universal Family Wellness Clinic. I see her every single week of my life, unless she or I are out of town. And to have someone that is in touch with your body and that touches your body every single week and that can tell, my shoulder was hurting me. She said, I think it's coming from the hip, things like that. So to have that kind of really consistent, regular supervision and contact with someone, I give her a huge amount of the credit. I couldn't do what I do without her. That's my number one. So I'd say for other people, she's not taking anybody new right now, but if they can find someone, whether it's a PT or acupuncture or a chiropractor, whatever that might be, as someone that they can really connect with and understand their body and work with them. Supplements, she advises me on diet and all of that stuff. So that's number one, is regular physical care. Number 2 is view aging up as a plus, right? And instead of, I hear so many people in every walk of life, I'm too old for this, I don't have my memory anymore, I don't mind this or that. Forget all that.
Right.
You're young, you're healthy, we're lucky to be out there running, and view aging up. I'll age up in 1.5 years now, and the number's a little daunting,
Right.
but I'm like, you know what, this is going to be great for competition. So view that as a plus. And then third is to really embrace the community around you. I have my run club, and then I also run with the Run Tech Club. I almost never run alone, and I've just been so fortunate to surround myself with people that I love to be with.
Mhm.
And I have one friend, Ashley, who will be just doing the training run. She'll be like, okay, come on, stay with me. We're gonna do 6:30 pace for the next half mile. And I'm kind of complaining, but I'll do it. So it's just to have the fun of it, push each other, or just to enjoy the time talking will make the training a pleasure.
Yeah.
And you won't want to stop. You want to keep, right? Even when I missed, I didn't run on Sunday, I raced on Saturday, and then Sunday, my legs were too sore. And Monday, I felt like still a little sore, but I was like, I had to go out Monday night, even if I'm just kind of walk jogging, so that I'd be ready to run with my friend Susie on Tuesday. So that kind of thing. And of course, I run, I think I said, with my daughter Phoebe a lot. And so that also, it's the people are everything. That's what really makes it, more than the age group and all that other stuff. So that'd be a third thing.
Yeah. Interesting. How many countries, I'm just curious, how many countries have you run marathons in?
I've done the full in Tokyo twice, Berlin twice, so Japan, Germany, London. I have done the full there 3 times, and I did the Royal Parks Half Marathon there once, and I did a 10K there once, like 2013. And then I did a half in Spain, 2015. I did a half in Australia, in Gold Coast in 2019. Trying to think what other countries I might be missing. I've done a few in Canada, a couple different half marathons there. I think that's everything. Oh, and Iceland. Last year I did the Reykjavik half in Iceland, which I really recommend. It's a lot of fun. I recommend Iceland altogether. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So half marathon there. I think that's all the countries.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a coach in my club that recently ran Antarctica Marathon. And, any desire to do that?
To do it. My dear friend Jen, who's like my running BFF, she really wants to do it. I'm really having trouble motivating myself. I know several people have done it. It just sounds so cold.
Yeah.
But if I want to do all the continents, I guess I'll have to do it.
Yeah. Tell me about this 310 race. You run this 310 race, is that right?
Thank you so much. Yes, it's run 3.1 miles in the 310 area code. So it's the beach, that's our tagline, run 3.1 in the 310. And so for those who are not in LA, that's our local West Side area code. So they have the 510 up north, and they've got, I think, the 305 in Florida. So I was kind of a copycat. I started organizing this in 2012. It was kind of a way to get back to the legal community. And since I'm so into running, it was like the perfect kind of combination. So it's a fundraiser for Public Counsel, which is the largest pro bono law firm in the country. And they do such great things. They represent tenants and indigent people. The work they do is amazing. And so we fundraise for them. And it's very much a community event. We're coming into our 13th year this year. The event will be on October 20th. It's down at the beach in Santa Monica, so it's a nice beachfront course. And as a runner, myself and someone who really likes to race really often, I tried to design something that would have everything that I want as a runner. Age group, 5-year age divisions, age group awards, free photos, good food, nice shirts in a tech fabric that people are actually going to want to wear, flat course, accurate course, good MC. My daughter Allie MC'd last year. So it's become really a community event, and we get a nice mix because we get attorneys and sort of professional friends. Some will run and some will walk, and then we get some really elite runners from the community. So it's a really nice mix of people, and the same people come back year after year. I hope you'll come this year. It's really fun.
It sounds fun.
It's a great event.
Yeah.
Last year, it starts at 8 o'clock, so people get there, 7:30. Last year, people stayed until we shut down because everyone's having fun. We had a singer. I hope we get her back this year. Someone's singing. It's a really, really fun time. I hope you can make it.
Wow. What are your future running goals?
I'd like to win my age division in every major. I have it for London, Boston, and New York. Really proud of my second in Tokyo this year because the person who beat me was a world record holder, Mariko Yugeta. So I will never win when she's there, but she's younger than me.
You never know. You never know. You don't...
Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I have to age up most likely to not have to worry about her. But I'd like to try to win in Tokyo. That one's less important. Like I said, I'm very happy with my second there. But I would really like to win my age division for Berlin and Chicago, those two. And right. Tokyo would be nice also, but especially Berlin and Chicago. And then I'd like to win a world championship again. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I have 4 years consecutive on the podium in Boston. So it would be cool to get a year.
4 years in a row. Oh my gosh.
4 years. I had a second, a first, a second, and a third. But again, those were all in the same age division. So next year, my last year in the division. So if it doesn't happen next year, that's okay. But I'd like to podium in Boston again.
Yeah. Wow. The one thing too, but you mentioned about aging up. I don't know the woman's name, but I saw a video.
Jeannie Rice, probably.
I think that was. And it seemed to me that she has the U.S. record or world record for everything from the marathon on down. And so one of the things I think that when you get the older you get, then the fewer the runners are. That means even though you may not be an 800-meter runner, maybe you might think back, well, in high school I couldn't run 800 meters, but now as you're older, well, there's not that many 800-meter runners in your age. So maybe you even start doing some of the shorter distances and you set records there too.
Yeah. I think that's right. First of all, shout out to Jeannie Rice. She is the nicest lady you'll ever meet. I met her in London at the World Championship, I think in 2021, and we've stayed in touch. I ran the OC half with her this year. It's a lot of fun. She cannot walk 10 feet down the road without people stopping her. Excuse me, are you Jeannie or so and so?
Yeah.
An amazing, lovely lady, and she's trying to push me to break her records, which,
well,
I can, but she is so nice. So, and it's interesting because if you look, she's in the 75 to 79 now. And if you look at the times in the world rankings, you'll see the times in the 65 to 69, and then you'll see they slow down to 70 to 74. And then Jeannie in the 75 to 79, having just broken her own world record in London this year.
Wow.
She's faster in the 75 to 79 than the winner in 70 to 74,
Yes.
who's also a former Olympian.
Wow.
So, and Jeannie's not. Jeannie's just this like nice lady from Ohio. She's amazing.
Wow.
So, and the comment about the field thinning out, the field does thin out. And on the one hand, there's fewer people doing it because there's fewer people, but I think a big part of it is that not everyone has the staying power. If you can hold your time or get faster, but even if you can hold, you'll continue to do better in the field.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's just amazing. I mean, all the runs you've done, all the times and everything, it's just impressive. It's impressive that you're just like I don't know, you're just a running machine out there, like Energizer Bunny out there.
Well, I have really great support. My boyfriend drives me to most of the races or travels with me. Rob takes my picture and all that stuff. When you have that kind of support and you have everybody's rooting for you, the night before a big marathon, I'll get, I don't know how many text messages, and people are watching, people are caring. And the fact that I know a lot of people are watching me, I know a lot of people are rooting for me. I know to look for Rob at the finish. He's going to be there with the camera to get the perfect picture. All of that, it makes you better, right?
Yeah,
We're not this alone. It's
definitely.
I have a friend in St. Louis who his motto is nothing ever done alone.
Nothing ever done alone. And everyone that I've interviewed so far, they've all told me the same thing. If it wasn't for my family, or if it wasn't for my club, if it wasn't for somebody, some group or some person or someone supporting me along the way, I couldn't have done this. Especially when you're talking about a marathon, so many hours of training and running. And, yeah,
and the training, you really notice when you run with people, some people just make you better. You know?
Yeah.
And like some people don't match my cadence. My girlfriend Susie,
Right.
180 all the way, 180.
Right.
So I know if I run with her, I'll be doing that. So
Right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to do this. Good luck to you. And it's Sydney, right? You're gonna go to Sydney?
Sydney coming up in September.
Sydney. We're looking forward to seeing on the internet again that you've won another age group world championship. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure chatting. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. What's most inspiring about Leslie? Write your answer in the comments below. See you later. Bye.